It's the John Dale Show. Like, share and subscribe. Howdy folks, John here. It's Sunday the 6th of December, and yesterday you might have noticed on the Derby JD channel, I went into Birmingham to cover the protests and the talks that went on in Victoria Square. And there were guest speakers there, David Curtin and Piers Corbyn, who I also managed to have a little interview with each of them and film the talk. Something else actually came up as well, because I was talking to a couple of people and somebody actually brought some proof with them from their MP. And what it was about was I had an email back from Parliament a few days ago that said that Parliament are going to be holding a debate on the 14th of December to discuss the petition that we filled out saying don't give any sanctions to people who refuse to have the COVID-19 vaccine. So I'm just going to flick over onto my, you won't be able to see this, but I'm going to read it off a script because I've typed it all up. It's going to save me bumbling through it, so apologies for not looking at the camera, but here we go. Right. A few days ago, I received an email from Parliament that stated that they are going to debate the petition about the British public not wanting any sanctions against them if they choose not to have the COVID-19 vaccine. The fact that they have replied about this, to me, means that the government may very well be thinking about doing such things in the future. And at the protest in Birmingham yesterday, I spoke with a lady who'd written to her local MP and asked about whether or not the government are planning to sanction against those of us who refuse to have the COVID-19 vaccine. She had a letter with her, which was the reply from her MP, and it stated that the government are not looking to sanction the UK public directly, but be prepared for situations with the likes of insurance firms who are actively seeking to add such sanctions and rules to their policies. To me, this immediately stands out like a sore thumb. If we're going to be blackmailed by insurance companies, this could spell major issues going forward. For example, if people want mortgages or have one already, their insurance policies could become voided if they refuse the jab. If somebody becomes critically ill during the mortgage period, then what's to stop the lying doctors and cronies from declaring someone as ill with COVID, and then refusing to pay out should they have long-term sicknesses that stop them from working? I mean, it's not like we've not already seen masses of death certificates being lied on with COVID-19 as the cause of death in silly circumstances, even when somebody might have died in a car accident or a DIY incident. And if someone dies from a different illness, such as cancer, for example, then what's to stop the corrupt medical teams and crony insurance firms from assuming and declaring that COVID was to blame? To me, it looks like insurance firms are going to do everything they can to use this as an excuse not only to not pay out, but also to allow land and asset grabs. This could also mean that people will not qualify for mortgages or loans where the insurance is part of the deal as a necessity before being accepted by the lender. Then comes travel insurance. We know that travel insurances often require the person to take medicines to combat things in certain countries, tropical diseases and malaria, etc. But if and when travel insurance is only granted for those who've had the COVID jab, then what will people do other than risking going abroad with no insurance? Things get pretty expensive the very moment you need medical attention abroad. And we're talking in the tens of thousands as a basic starting point. Do you remember the girl who fell off the motor scooter in America in 2019 and ended up owing $118,000? In fact, I've got a shot of that here. Brit teen left with £118,000 medical bill after freak scooter accident in the US because she didn't have cover to do scootering or motor scootering or whatever. I don't know whether she had basic insurance or no insurance. It'll be in the article. But yeah, this was from was it February 19? Oh, it's too small a writing on there, but just search for it and you'll find it. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, we already know that there are likely to be sanctions for travelling on aeroplanes and probably other forms of transport too. This is a technocratic corporatocracy. So there you go, folks. This is what it looks like it's going to be ending up happening. We're going to end up being blackmailed with our everyday freedoms, not through government sanctions possibly, but through insurance policies. And if you sit down and think about all the consequences that happen if you don't have insurance for something, and it might even become a condition of you having car insurance to be able to drive your car. Who knows? Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say in this video. I'm just uploading a couple of short clips from the David Curtin and the Piers Corbyn speech yesterday, and they'll be popping up on both channels shortly as well. And I will be back as soon as I can. I'm going to have a couple of days off because I've got a hell of a lot of work I've got to be doing, and eventually I will be setting up the call-ins and then making it a regular thing once or twice a week with phone-in evenings, that sort of thing. But at the moment I'm just literally juggling different pieces of work all over the place as much as I can. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.